change you can expect from an Obama administration. That's the kind of change you can expect from an Obama administration. And not just on cars. We are going to create a whole new generation of green jobs here in America. Governor Granholm, Lieutenant Governor Cherry, they've been at the front lines on this. We're going to invest in solar and wind and biodiesel and hydro fuels and reopen steel mills making windmills and reopen closed plants making solar panels. And that is going to be good not just for our economy and creating jobs here in America, but it will be good for our environment and it will be good for our national security. I'm tired of borrowing from China to give money to Saudi Arabia. So we are going to, my goal is that by the end of this administration, we are on track to end our dependence on Middle Eastern oil. We will not have to depend on Middle Eastern oil if we start taking the steps that are necessary. And while we're at it, let's rebuild our infrastructure in this country. John McCain doesn't have a plan to rebuild our infrastructure, but I do. Making sure that we start rebuilding our roads and our bridges, laying broadband lines all across America, creating a high-speed rail system all throughout the Midwest that connects Chicago to Detroit to Flint to Indianapolis to St. Louis, putting 2 million laborers back to work, construction workers back to work. And listen, and we can create 2 million new jobs. And if people tell you we can't afford it, then just remind them that we are spending $10 billion a month in Iraq while they've got a $79 billion surplus from all that oil that's not being spent. I tell you what, I'm tired of Iraq running surpluses and the United States government running deficits. We need to spend that money right here in the United States of America, putting people back to work, and that's one of the reasons why we are going to bring this war in Iraq to a close when I'm President of the United States of America. We're going to bring this war to a close. We're going to change our foreign policy so we're focused on the real central front on the war on terror, and that's in Afghanistan and the hills of Pakistan. You know, John McCain has just stubbornly refused to acknowledge that we have neglected what's taken place there. He said we could muddle through. We can't. We've got to focus our attention on those who killed 3,000 Americans on 9/11. And we start needing to, and we will then begin a process. We'll send some more troops to Afghanistan, but we got to start bringing some of our troops home as well. They have served with honor and respect, and when they come home, we've got to treat them with honor and respect, making sure that our veterans have the disability payments and the services that they need in order to transition back into civilian life. So let's think about this. John McCain's not offering a change in tax policy, same old Bush tax plan. He's not offering a change in health care policy, George Bush's health care plan. Not offering a change when it comes to education policy. Same old dogmas that the Republicans have been peddling for 3 decades now. No plan to make college more affordable. No change when it comes to rebuilding our infrastructure. No change when it comes to energy policy. So how is it that John McCain and Sarah Palin are claiming that they're bringing about change? Well, here's what they'll say. Here's what they'll say. You know, what they say is, well, we're going to reform government. We're going to reform government. Government's too big, and we're going to reform government. So John McCain says that he is going to tell all those lobbyists in Washington that their days of running Washington are over. Which sounds pretty good until you discover that 7 of his top campaign managers and officials are, guess what, former corpus lobbyists. So who is it that he's going to tell? Is he going to tell his campaign chairman? Is he going to tell his campaign manager? I mean, these are folks who have represented every major corporate interest, oil companies, foreign oil companies, foreign countries, banks, insurance companies, drug companies. Who is it that he's going to tell that he's going to change the system? So he says, all right, so that doesn't seem very plausible. So then we've got a new argument. Well, how about, Governor Palin? She's, up and comer from Alaska. They're starting to run an ad now saying she opposed the bridge to nowhere. Well, now, let's get the facts clear here. When she was mayor, she hired a Washington lobbyist to get earmarks, pork barrel spending, all the things that John McCain says is bad, she lobbied to get and got a whole lot of it. When it came to the bridge to nowhere, she was for it until everybody started raising a fuss about it, and she started running for governor, and then suddenly she was against it. You remember that? For it before you were against it? I mean, you can't just make stuff up. You can't just recreate yourself. You can't just reinvent yourself. The American people aren't stupid. What they're looking for is somebody who's been consistently calling for change, who's been consistently opposed to the war in Iraq, who's been consistently for tax cuts for the middle class, who's been consistently for making college more affordable, who's been consistently for making health care accessible and affordable, who's been consistently for ethics reform in Washington, who hasn't taken PAC money, who hasn't taken money from federal registered lobbyists. That's change you can believe in. That's why I'm running for president of the United States. That's why I need your support. And if I get it, we're going to win Michigan. We'll win this election. And we'll bring you the change that you need all across America. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Well, listen, we've got some time for questions. So I think, do we have microphones in the audience? Yes, we do. And so I've got a little time for questions. And we'll start with this guy, love an engineer. He must be an engineer if he's wearing that shirt. What's your name? Is it working? It's not working yet. I can hear you, but let's try that one.
How's it going? My name is Kurt Webb. I'm from Kettering University. And I have a question about military spending. I know that ending the war in Iraq, ending the war in Afghanistan, and preventing future wars is going to decrease, the amount of money that we're spending as far as defense goes. But before September 11th, 2001, Donald Rumsfeld admitted to a $2.3 trillion